here we go. Part 3. You're all the dice again. You all did. You forget you, and I'm relationship, destroyer of worlds. I know what I can do. I have a lot of control. The thing I can do with my mind, you see the universe in a new way, if only briefly. The big picture in your head becomes huge when your brain stops being afraid of the little picture you were so used to. The perception, like the big picture, shifts and changes, expands. That means that things look different. A way to make them different again. You want to stop thinking about you? Don't worry, it doesn't work. The trick of the trade is to not think too much. You have thoughts that are not your own. Don't be a fucking baby. Don't fight back. You won't win. I'm not a nice man. I am not kind and good. I do what I must to survive. You think about what happens when you go through your life and nothing is going right. Everything... oh, I guess I did send it out. It's going right, everything is falling apart. But then you wake up in your room with the sun in your face, your body a mess of aches and pains and aching muscles. What would be the difference between that and a nightmare, where the bed and your surroundings have been a mess? Wouldn't you like it to just end like that? With a peaceful, pleasant ending, and you could wake from it with all these scars? Well, maybe you wouldn't like waking up that bad, because maybe the pain would be that real. And what about all those times when it wasn't like that at all? Those nights when the nightmares felt worse than your waking days. What about the time your boss came into the break room and he couldn't stop shaking? How about the times when it was your girlfriend or your boyfriend arguing about something stupid, or a stranger who tried to pick a fight? How do you handle it when the shit you think you might come from a mouth actually comes out anyway? Actually comes out anyway. What's that moment you find you're in a bathroom and can hear someone talking on the other side of the stall, and then you're so upset that all you do is pee yourself and leave? Because even if you don't make a scene, you can still feel the tears well up behind your eyes, and you can still feel them starting to trickle down the inside of your thighs, and you wonder what the fuck. What if your mom, your dad, or brother saw you crying? What about your friends? When the guy with the big dick says, just let the whole thing go, what you're supposed to do? If you can laugh off that. If you have the strength to ignore it when your parents, and sometimes friends, tell you that this kind of shit's no big deal. That it isn't serious. Or you're being oversensitive or crazy. How can it hurt you so much to know that there's somebody in a relationship with someone who feels that you deserve to die, and he's willing and capable of carrying out the plan to make that a reality? How can that be any different from what they're already doing to you, but with actual physical tools, actual bullets, instead of just manipulation? So if your friends and relatives have to be part of the problem because they can't see it and refuse to accept what's happening, what about when they are the wrong and are the source of the problem and won't help? And when you want to tell them are some of the things I've told myself to do, how do you manage to tell anyone what it feels like? It's a hell of a thing to know that your friend is trying to do something to keep his partner alive, and your friend is in a relationship, and the only way to get him to listen is to say you've killed someone too. If it were just about me, you wouldn't have it right. And it makes me feel dirty to even think about I could use that. But it's so easy for it to slip away from you, and... make your mind up. But the more people are in on the story, the less control we seem to have over the truth, or who gets told. I wouldn't dare start believing that you deserved what they did. It was my choice that got taken from me. I choose to trust them. I trusted them because despite how many ways there are to show that you don't know them or that they're wrong and mean, it's always you who's going through this experience. You who are being lied to, or misled or manipulated by these people who are supposedly your best friends. And you're left holding a piece of paper where the number for an anonymous helpline doesn't work, or a bunch of sob stories about the time they were abused. They might not even be telling you the real reasons why you deserve it, or that they didn't really do those things that they were lying the whole time. But you know better. And the guilt comes down on top of everything, and you already carry. And there are so few places where the weight of it will settle. But in my own head, anyway, it's not something they'll tell you. That you have to believe you're crazy, or at least a terrible person, or that maybe you don't have to go through with the idea that they would ever. Actually harm you in order for you to have to be the only one suffering or making sacrifices or being victimized. And I wonder what it says about you, that this has never been the first time you had a problem you were dealing with alone, and how long you can do it. And there's some point at which it just starts feeling natural to be carrying that shit with you. You might even try and convince the person it wasn't that bad because you've had other experiences. With them before, and you've learned how they react in different circumstances, or it might be the fact that it happens so often you've come to expect it to happen that day, but you still find yourself hoping against hope that they're going to act normal that week. And when the finally does arrive that nothing is wrong, you can feel like an imposter in a place where you should be allowed to relax, because there aren't any others around who can hear you scream that it wasn't what they said, you weren't supposed to hurt you, and why did you have to lie about how much fun they're having while you were pretending everything was okay. Why can't I just say, oh, sorry to bother you. It looks like we both missed a step. When they get mad at me, or they argue over the dinner plans, or the TV remote, or the laundry, and I can see that they're angry, but then when they tell me I love you, it's not your fault. I know it must be hard in the situation we're living with, and your parents are just the worst, or that I'm being a bitch, or that they're just so nice to you that they shouldn't take it personally and it's all a huge misunderstanding. Or what they don't see is what a sweet, good, wonderful person you are, and why you just keep doing it. Why didn't you realize that they're just having problems and they're only trying to protect us? They say that it's not my job to worry to take care of them when you have so much more experience with people. You're a child and they need help and guidance. Why didn't I notice that sooner? I thought it meant I was a failure. But no one told me. You think you're being stupid and immature. Maybe you have no right to criticize them and think of them when it's so much worse than their own children. You say you don't know what it's like out there, and that's why you need to stay in here, because we can provide you protection. Alright, stop for now.